think 5 years now. We kind of go way back, but I don't want to talk too much. I want her to be able to introduce herself and talk a little bit about her. We got a lot to talk about because she is such a well-rounded person. She does so much. She's not just one thing, one person. So welcome, Marcy. Thank you so much for being here.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
You've been here.
I'm excited and nervous.
Oh, that's fine. You've been here. You've been here since 6:30 in the morning, haven't you?
Not today. Normally, I am.
That's correct. And why is that, Marcy? Why would you be here at 6:30 in the morning?
Because I love it here. Why wouldn't I be here?
Or for those who don't know you, how do should I say your current role is with us here at eBliss, but you started here with us at Cosby, which is our eBay business. So you started here, was it a year ago, year and a half, I believe?
It was a year and a half ago. So it was the beginning of June 2020. Right? Yeah.
Right. So you started with us. You became our main processor, which was so helpful at the time. You were in charge of getting all of our items ready for listing, which is a huge task. And you learned it very quickly. And then we also trained you how to ship on our eBay accounts. And then about a couple months ago, you came over here and as working with us on eBliss. So if you want to tell everybody, give us a little bit of your background, because I know you've done a lot of different things in the past, working for various companies that actually are very useful to eBliss. So just give us a quick synopsis of your, life.
Well, I worked. One thing that's helpful is that I've worked for both the Postal Service and UPS. I stopped working at the Postal Service. It was 10 years ago when I moved out here to Colorado from North Dakota. I was a mail carrier for the post office for 12 years. And then I switched to the clerk side. And then I was also in OIC for a little while, which is a substitute postmaster. So and that's the way I work too, is I like to, I'm a big picture person, so I like to know why we do this way and what it affects over here and so on and so forth. And then I started working at UPS in October of 2019. And I was just going to be working over the holiday season, but then after the new year, I was promoted to supervisor there, and then COVID hit and it was just crazy. And it was the day after I resigned from UPS that you called me and said, well, now that you're not at UPS anymore, what are your plans? And I'm like, well, why? What do you have in mind?
So, and the rest is history.
Right. Yes. And here we are.
Yes, here we are. And we are so happy to have you. And, besides that, I know you do a lot of other things in your spare time. Tell us about some of that stuff.
Well, I'm an artist. And there was a time where I was doing yard work and stuff like that. And that's where the Miscellaneous by Marcy came from. Let's see. So I formed an LLC, and that's what I call my LLC is Miscellaneous by Marcy.
Gotcha.
I've been an artist for forever, and I used to make special occasion banners and stuff like that. But mostly I just kind of like to paint glassware, and all that stuff. So I have Love Marcy Arts, which is
that's right. I forgot about that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I call it that just because that's how I sign everything is Love Marcy. So then I call it Love Marcy Arts.
Mm-hmm. Neat. Yeah, I remember you making those banners. I think that I'm always amazed at anybody who can do anything that's art related because I am so not. If it's not built, created on a computer, I can't create it. I can create, graphics and things like that, but that is not the same as you're creating it with your own hands. I'm always in awe of people who can do that because I cannot. So it's always great to see that.
It's along the same lines, Laurie. It really is. You have the design in your head and you just you build it with the computer versus a paintbrush. It's the same thing.
Right. I guess, but I don't have that. I don't think I could put a paintbrush in my hand and do what you do, and vice versa, perhaps. So it's
Well,
just like, I guess it's a talent that we have, but just utilized in different ways.
right. Yeah.
Cool. So also, in addition to all this stuff that you do all the time, you are also a reseller. So how did you get to be a reseller?
Basically, when I started working for you guys, well, even before I had started as a processor here, I had you had taken me picking. Do you remember
Yes.
that? Yeah,
And
and that
that's
was
right.
fun. And
That's right. That was even, gosh, that was like
yeah,
when I first started working with Dave, I think 2017.
Right. I think that was because we were looking to expand our reselling business, and we were trying to see if you could help us out picking. And I remember meeting you there once or twice, and you did pretty well. You were not shy. You threw some elbows, and you got your stuff
and some dirty looks. I'm getting.
You got it back. And I remember I kind of said, Marcy, I'm just going to walk around. I'll be back in an hour. And I came back and your cart was full. And I'm like, what is all this stuff? Oh, and you're like, oh, I'm going to bring, this is for me. so I saw the, you had the passion just to dig and find stuff that you liked. And that's the fun thing about the bins. Everything is there, but you did well. I remember you found a couple good things and you looked them up on the spot, and the rest kind of like, I remember you were just like, oh no, I'm not into picking regularly, but you're not afraid to go hunting for treasure.
No, sourcing and thrifting and stuff like that is the fun part. I mean, I think it is.
Most resellers would agree with you.
Yeah,
definitely.
You're not the norm, Laurie.
You're correct, but I don't consider. Okay, even though our business is reselling, I'm not sure I consider myself exactly a reseller, because that isn't my most favorite part of the process. But thankfully, it's for Dave.
Yeah, I've always liked going to Goodwill and finding treasures. A lot of times I would go to Goodwill because I would make things out of it. I liked to refurbish furniture and stuff like that too. And my house is decorated by Goodwill and hand-me-downs. I don't think I've bought anything new for my household like ever.
Wow.
Maybe like some candle holders or something like that. But so I've always enjoyed that. And so then when you guys hired me on, I was also, with the Miscellaneous by Marcy, I was doing yard work and stuff like that. And one of my clients, she lives in a huge house here in Colorado, and they were selling their mansion and moving up into the mountains into their house in Frisco. Mm-hmm. So she called me and said, I have a bunch of stuff for you. You want to come and get it, And so I had boxes and boxes of stuff that she just gave me, clothes, designer clothes, decorations and stuff like that I had sitting in my basement that I'm like, well, I might as well sell this stuff. So then it was a year ago that I opened up my eBay store and posted a bunch of stuff. And now I'm a top seller on eBay as well. I mean, I don't.
Oh, that's right. Didn't you just become a top rated seller?
Yeah. So that's exciting.
Congratulations.
And now awesome. I've branched off into Poshmark and Mercari, and I'm probably going to do some other platforms and stuff too. So I am, as I'm spending more time here and doing less of the yard work and all that other stuff. I've kind of pushed that to the side. Although I do want to incorporate the art more into my life as well, and that I'd like to sell that online as well. So
that and branching out to places like Etsy probably would be a good idea for that.
Yeah,
I bet.
So to share with the viewers, Marcy is so creative. We had the hugest tumbleweed that blew into our warehouse, like it was right by the door. And the thing, honestly, it's huge. I mean, it's like, it was like a monster, crazy beach ball thing. And I was like, oh, check this out. And Marcy's like, oh, are you going to throw that out? I want that. And I was like, how are you going to fit in your car? I don't know how you got it home. but we actually went over months later for your birthday, and outside you made that tumbleweed into some kind of, how would you
It was like a
describe it?
light or chandelier,
Yeah.
outside
it?
chandelier.
It was amazing. It was like Christmas little white. How did you do that? That was just amazing.
It was kind of painful actually because those tumbleweeds are full of thorns. I did not
Oh,
know that. But anyway, so I spray painted it and and anybody who knows me knows that I love glitter. So I put glitter all over it. And then I tucked the Christmas lights into it and like cut up my hands and arms pretty good, but it
oh.
was fun.
Well, it was worth it. So, hello, Patrick. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Patrick, a loyal subscriber to our channel.
Yes. Yes, he
Thank you
Hi,
is.
for hopping in,
Patrick.
Patrick. Yes. I
Oh,
gave Patrick a little shout out today. I did an Instagram post
oh,
about Metallica,
Metallica.
and I
Yes, I
did the
saw that.
horns. So every time I see these horns, I think of Patrick, who loves throwing up those horns. It could be Texas Hook'em horns or Ronnie James Dio horns, but I digress as usual. So
That's okay.
I have a question, Marcy. Like on eBliss now, you know so much. You know more than I
I am
do.
pretty smart.
Thank you. All right, next topic. So you know so much about the onboarding, receiving of all the items that come in, shipping, scan sheets. What has your experience at UPS and USPS kind of taught you that Laurie and I don't know? Like, in other words, are you like, don't take this for granted? These labels have to be flat. Don't bunch them. Like, what goes through your mind when you're packaging up stuff on the other side of the process now?
Well, and because I see it from the perspective as the carrier who's got to scan the item, and if the barcode's all messed up and they can't scan it, then I remember many a day being out in 40 below air temperature, 60 below wind chills, trying to punch in on the scanner that's all fogged up
Ugh,
because the barcode's all messed up. And even if you put it on a poly mailer or whatever, and there's one little wrinkle in it, or if you print the label and it's the last label, and or your ink is low or whatever, you don't have no idea how much that messes up the carrier or even the package handlers who are, because they have to scan it when they put it on the truck at UPS and stuff
right.
like
They're
that.
scanning
Or
it multiple
if you want
times.
it
It's not just the
tracked,
one. It's not the first one.
if you
Exactly.
want it tracked and you want it tracked for your customer,
Right.
then make sure that your barcode is clear and legible. Also the address and the return address and all that jazz.
So I just want to share, when I was winging it by myself, a one person show, like shipping, listing, prepping, and then I hired a high school kid to help list. I was so sloppy. I didn't even have a laser printer. The ink toner on the printer I was using was smudge, and
Oh
I
gosh.
remember
I mean, you didn't have a thermal printer. You had a laser
thermal.
printer.
Right. Okay.
Right.
But even so, like sometimes those barcodes would get a little smudged.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but I was putting like clear tape over it. Is that
Oh.
good or bad? Like, do you
Oh
get
yeah,
a,
that's Patrick just asked that question.
Yeah, I saw
oh,
that Patrick asked that too. Well, and they
ah,
say in the instructions I've seen where they said don't tape over the barcode. I think you can, as long as you make sure that it's, a clean cover. There's not a bunch of ripples and stuff in the tape. Actually, I think, especially if you're printing it on like a piece of paper versus a thermal printer
right.
with the sticker, because once it gets wet, it's done for. So I think
Right.
putting the tape over it helps protect it more, particularly up in, Fargo, North Dakota area where I was a mail carrier, where it snows and rains and,
Right.
and then, so,
yeah.
I know I've seen in the instructions where they say, don't tape over you can, and you
Right.
probably should if it's going,
Yeah.
if it's winter or whatever.
Right.
I think the
So,
only reason they say that is because it can, if you don't put it on there neatly and
Mhm.
smoothly, that it could mess up the barcode.
okay. Cool.
One of the best investments we ever made was getting a thermal printer. We use Zebra's, what are they?
Zebra
ZP450.
450, ZP 450,
Okay.
pretty standard.
And we know, like we had one, we shipped out almost 10,000 items last year, and this thing was like a workhorse. And it was like, I mean, you can't break
We
them.
had two of them. Yeah.
Is it?
Actually,
is
that's
that
not
how-
true. That's not true. They can break. I just wanted to say hi to the people who just joined us real quick. We have Angie, who I think is perfect attendance with our lives.
we could start now.
Angie.
And then we have Philly Flipper.
Yes.
What's up?
So
Thank you
we're
for
so
joining
cool.
us.
Thank you. Paul, thank
And-
you.
And
Yep.
just to let everybody know that Patrick Murphy did confirm it was Ronnie James Dio. So
Yes.
just to be clear.
But Marcy, I saw you get like a little shakes when I went. Is that
No,
how
it sounded just exactly. I was like, "What is there a zebra printer here?"
Yeah.
Because it sounded exactly like it.
That I love hearing that. Appreciate it. I got this. I'm getting distracted by the comments because we have people East Coast people popping in, and look at this East Coast S In and Out Burger
to the East
S.
Coast.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
And it's cool. I'll let you guys get back to serious stuff. If you need some comedy relief, let me know.
Yeah, because we're all business.
I know.
Right.
So
Especially me.
We know. I mean, Marcy, so back to the business. Marcy, typically I'm not on a Monday because Monday's usually a busy day, and today we probably shipped out on typical Mondays 100-ish e-bliss and our reselling business. Let's just say on a Wednesday, Thursday, what's the volume typically like with shipping, and what time do you start picking, packing, and shipping with e-bliss?
Well, I usually don't start the pick lists until like 8:30 to give people. On Mondays, I started early, of course, because you got all the weekend stuff to ship out. But I start the pick lists about 8:30, and to give the morning a chance to make some sales if you're having some. And I think we've been averaging between 40 and 50 on a normal day. Does that sound right, Laurie?
If we were shipping every day, probably would be a little less than that, but we don't ship every weekend. So it really varies. One day we can come in and there's like 60 or 70 things to ship.
Mm-hmm.
The next day there could be 20. I mean, it really varies because we have such a variety of clients whose businesses themselves vary a lot as well. Sometimes we have, one of our Poshmark clients, sometimes she's like the majority of our shipping for the whole day. Like one client, is like all of it practically. So it really depends. But the bottom line is there's always shipping to do. There's never not any shipping to do. So
yeah, it varies a lot. I mean, sometimes, you'll have one client who doesn't sell anything for days, and then all of a sudden they'll sell 5 things.
Right.
And then,
exactly.
and then there's several clients that are consistent, like today, I think we shipped 50 items. That was just from today. That's not counting over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of our clients had 19 of those, and another client had 8 of those. And then you have 5 here, 2 there, 1. So
exactly.
And sometimes it goes lickety split. Sometimes you run into all sorts of problems and you work through them. But I think that's fun. See, I like to troubleshoot. I like to go, well, why did this happen? And how can we make it not happen again?
That makes me nervous because every time something doesn't go awry, something goes awry, I'm thinking, what did we do wrong? But thankfully, I think I told you this morning, every time we can't find something, I wonder, is this the time where we finally, messed up? That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, Marcy, Laurie and I were talking about that the other day, and I just brought up, I said, how many since inception, fancy word, since for a year, because we launched last October. And of course, when we launched in October, we only had 3-4 clients, and now we're upwards of 40. And I asked Laurie, I said, like, over the year, how many packages, how many items did we misplace? How many did we ship to the wrong address? Like I was going through all like the what resellers do on their own when they
Right.
run their resale. You lose items, you send things to the wrong people. It happens for every reseller. And I asked her, and you said maybe 3. I don't
The
know, something
percentage
bizarre.
was so low. It really was. I mean, we are human. We are not robots. Mistakes are made.
Yes.
More mistakes were made in the past, I have to say, because we're still getting used to the processes and everything, and growing. There's always some growing pains and stuff. But I think that's what makes this work, is because we're always looking at what we're doing and trying to do it the best we can. And if something's not working, we figure out, well, how can we make it work? And sticking to the process is very important. I mean, that's kind of true with anything, whether it's this or your own reselling business. You got to, first of all, have a process.
Yep.
And second of all, you got to stick to it. And then you got to reevaluate. If this process is not working, you got to fix it. Just don't keep it just because that's the way I do it, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Or make amendments. You have to make
Right.
amendments to the process.
Exactly.
Now, one of our viewers is like Nostradamus. So if you could bring up Paul's comment right there. Paul really has a great vision. Oh, you can't bring on his comment up?
I'm clicking show and nothing's happening.
I
don't know.
All right.
Hold on.
Glitch.
Sorry. I know.
Okay. Well, Paul
sorry.
says this time next year, eBliss will be bigger than Amazon. I would assume there's only one Amazon, but yes, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
But Laurie and I, when we were talking last week, it was comforting. I think that's the word, that by coming up with systems and processes, whether you use us or your own reselling business, it eliminates the volatility, the variables of losing items. And I think that really comes down to 2 things for us: the bag system. Well, 3 things: the bag system, the bin system, and the SKU label.
Right.
So those 3 things really buckled everything up. Like the bag system, to share with everyone, we sell items. Like we don't sell a pair of sunglasses we could throw it in a bin. We might have the sunglasses with the case with other, like a cloth, and we need to contain those within a bag. And by doing that, and by putting the SKU sticker on the bag, it contains those items, and we're in good shape. And then we have the bin system, which everybody knows. You can't bring up comments. Huh? Paul brings up.
I'm so sorry, but
Okay.
my mouse is dead.
Okay.
I don't know what
So
that is.
Paul says, wait. So you are saying just remembering in your head where you put them isn't a good system? Only if you're me when you're first starting out, worth when you have 500 items. But yes, you waste much time just digging. And I would like to know, I know Paul has thousands of items, and I want to know, he could chime in if he uses a SKU system, because I find it hard to believe anyone with over 1,000 items not using a SKU sticker system.
Not even 1,000. I mean, way less than that, I would say.
So
as soon as
Marcy,
you've got more than a couple tubs. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So back to Marcy. And so Marcy, when you're picking the items from the bins, do you ever look and say, oh my gosh, that SKU number is only off by 1? What's the checks and balances that you typically go through? You look at the number. Do you have a picture of the item on the pick list as well?
Yeah, so we print off, like on the eBay page, we print off the items that are ready to be shipped. And then, and since it's so small, I usually write it bigger. So the SKU system, so we have it. So there's our client number, and then the bin that the item is in, and then the sticker number for that particular item. So I know that, so in a certain area are the bins for this specific client. Let's say EB05. Okay. So then I go to the EB05 bins, and then I will go to bin 16. And then I will look in bin 16 for that item that has that specific sticker number on it. It's actually a great system, and it works great.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and it does help to have the picture of the item, so then you can, because sometimes you can transpose the number, or there's a typo when the sticker number gets put in there. And so you just verify the color, the brand name, the shape, whatever,
Right.
what other indicators there are.
So you were mentioning, like, Marcy, it's a good system, and you feel like there's, like, at this point, and we talk about this once a week, like we try to anticipate hiccups. We anticipate things that we should avoid. Just to share with everybody that's viewing, Laurie, like you hear this a lot where people say it's better to start this system earlier in your reselling game than later. And do you agree, like the bag system and stuff?
Well, I mean, not everybody needs a bag system. Some people's items don't tend to warrant them. You just need a system. That's what you need. You need something that you can hopefully use long term, that you can replicate no matter how many items you have. It doesn't make any sense to start out with a system that only works for 50 things and that doesn't work for 500. So that's the important thing, in my opinion, is you start out with something and you're able to continue that going forward.
So, Paul, and I asked him to chime in, and thanks, Paul, for saying, he goes, he's just starting to do it for the clothes now. He has over 2,800 apparel items in his store, and he sells on multiple platforms, and they don't have SKU numbers, but he does put them in bins by size, color, and brand. But for hard goods, he has over 2,500 items with no SKU. So he's starting to do it with I know, like, but he has some he has some people helping as well, some employees. He says he has racks just for Christmas items, video games, mugs, puzzles.
Well, that's
yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say that's that works. And if that works for him, that is awesome. I mean, that's the beauty about reselling, is you can have so many different ways of doing stuff, and it may work for somebody, and that same system won't work for the next person. As long as it works for you, that's really all that matters. The reason why that wouldn't work for us is because we have lots of very similar items coming in at different times. So we could get an Apple TV one day and 3 days later get pretty much the same one, but they're separate listings. So you have to be able to differentiate this listing versus that listing.
All right. So real quick, last thing with Paul, he goes, "It works is a very loose term, LOL," he says. And changing the closed system because it's not working. And Marcy, you could, it's one thing, like you worked on our reselling business with picking and shipping. What we sell on our reselling business is similar to a few clients in eBliss, but most of them are a fashion. What did you say?
Yeah.
So
definitely. We're not fashion at all.
Right. So I mean, when picking items on our reselling business, if we didn't have our bag system in our reselling on our eBay business, it would have been easy to be like, oh, okay, this is a cell phone. Oh, that's an Apple TV. But when you're picking fashion, like Paul was saying, you can't tell what it is if it's just rolled up in a ball or in a bag. So do you, on your pick lists, do you have photos or color photos?
Yes.
Do you think that's a waste of toner?
No.
Or
no, it's very helpful.
All right. Yeah.
You even said that, Dave, when you were picking one time. You're like, it's really helpful to have the color pictures on there because it's easier to find stuff. Now you have like a double check. Like, I'm looking for this number, but it's also green. Okay, I'm looking for green. Is it this one? Oh, no. Oh, yes. It helps a lot.
It does. And then, especially right now, we're selling a lot of our clients have puffy coats and jackets and stuff like that. And it's nice when you see the color on the pick list, so you can open up the bin and go, oh, there it is right there. And it's usually the first thing you grab, as long as there isn't a bunch of other stuff colored the same in the bin. But
that's where the number comes in. Yeah. Right. As long as the number is correct.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys got a call from Philly Flipper, who's commenting, even though we can't bring his comments in, he's been lighting up the board like crazy. He says, he's changing to the kind like Ginger Marvin, who's and an influencer on YouTube. She does. And he says, it's going to take me like 25 years to do that. And it's a daunting task. Like, how would you, if somebody had, let's just say he has 4,000 items, let's just say, probably more. How would you go in and help somebody like that and start? Like, where would you start? Like, either of you have any idea?
Well, I mean, I would start with figuring out what's going to work the best for his space, his time, his personality. And figure
Personality
out,
is horrible.
yeah. What?
I said his personality is horrible.
Oh, no, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is some people are better, I don't know, either visual learners type of thing, or like, I don't know, there must be, I mean, there's so many ways you can manage and organize your inventory. Just figure out, you'd have to kind of like look at it and see what would work best, what makes sense for them. Because I mean, bottom line is, in my opinion, you've got to associate your listing with something that you can locate. That's the basic thing. If you can't locate your listing, you're going to be like Patrick, who was looking for something and he couldn't find it because it was in a box of 50 others, but a different color. I mean, that's why you make it like, if you make it a number or something like that, then you eliminate that variable.
So Marcy, if Patrick was an eBliss client and he has 50 of the similar phone cases and you have a pick list and those 50 cases are in a bin, I mean, that's still tricky because you're going to have to sift through. Like, do you arrange them like a card catalog, like neatly in the bin, or just a mishmash? Like,
well, something like that, I typically try to put in order, in the bin, if it's something like that. A lot of times that isn't necessary.
Or possible.
Right, or possible. One of our clients has a whole bunch of books. So then I would put the books in order via the sticker number. And then when you asked about helping someone who, is trying to come up with a system, if they have, 1,000 some items, they have to have some sort of system in place. And so then you could look at what their system is so far, or lack thereof. I mean, but they have to have some kind of, to have that many items. And so I guess you have to take a look at what they have in place so far, and then work from there, I think. And because not everything works for everybody. And sometimes you can make amendments to your process and come up with a way that works best for that person.
Like, I got my mouse working. Sorry, got my mouse working. It must have died. So I was charging it. So I don't know if it'll die again. But so this is Paul, right, Dave?
Yes.
Paul says, nothing works for my personality. Well, I guess obviously, if you're like Marcy was saying, if you're a successful reseller, you're doing something right. Unless you're losing things left and right and you're clicking, on eBay, item out of stock, which you never, ever want to do.
Yes.
Always an address problem.
I cannot. And Marcy, we I think it was episode 7. We talked about eBay wants you to do so many different things, and you sell on eBay, but the most important thing is not, like Laurie mentioned, keep your defect rate down, because most resellers can only afford to have 2 or 3 a year. So we definitely, and Paul said he loses about 1 out of every 500 items.
So they don't have I don't know where the hell it is option?
Not yet.
No.
But but there are worworkarounds to, if you do what, Laura, would you like to share that real quick? I don't want to.
I mean, there's a fix to this problem. You can't find something, or you pick it and it's broken, or it's got some major defects, you didn't see it the first time around. Some people will say, offer something else to the buyer, give them a discount or offer them something more expensive. And when they say, no, thanks, you can, I would rather have the original thing, then they say you can legitimately say buyer asked to cancel. Now that's kind of controversial to some degree. Some people say that's not true. Other people have said, I've heard eBay say that. bottom line is you want to do what's right for your buyer. I mean, you're trying to, obviously something didn't go right with the transaction. You're trying to do something right. And if they don't want it, I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with that, honestly,
And
yeah.
yeah, if you could bring up Patrick's comment, he nailed it. That's exactly what he experienced last night. And so there you go.
Definitely. I mean, the only problem I have with that personally is that you go on record as saying that you don't have it. I mean, you're telling, you're messaging, you're saying it wasn't as, you didn't have it in stock or whatever. And that always kind of makes me a little bit nervous, but I think you got to do right by the buyer. That's the bottom line.
Well, and I think that what they're trying to avoid with that is the old bait and switch. They don't want you doing that. But if you're legitimately your product broke, or you went to go ship it and you dropped it, and so you offer them another item or discount or something, and then they say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that,"
And maybe they say yes, maybe they say no. Either way, everybody wins. And so Paul was saying that's exactly what he does. And don't worry, we won't throw tomatoes at you, because I agree. I mean, that I think is a legitimate way of dealing with things. I mean, if you're going to be, put it this way, if eBay is going to be so hard-nosed about your defect rate, you got to do something to deal with that, in my opinion, because it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth, clicking out of stock because whatever.
And Marcy, as you know, Laurie and I, we don't cross post anywhere. We are strictly all eBay for now, and we may dabble. We don't need to get into it. We may dabble into Poshmark a little bit, but you do cross post, and we don't need to get into what you use, what works, what's great about it. No, but you do cross post to other platforms. Which ones do you do?
I do Poshmark and Mercari right now. I'm looking into, I've thought about Facebook Marketplace, but I don't know.
Okay.
Some of the eBay groups on Facebook, you kind of stray away from that. But I think that, I don't know. So I've looked into Shopify, maybe Etsy, but I want to basically do the ones that aren't going to cost me an arm and a leg to join, and then have fees and blah. So with Mercari and Poshmark, the fees are pretty basic.
But you said Poshmark and Mercari, and that's in addition to eBay, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. It's so funny because it's like the people that started on eBay, it's like, let me add on a couple. And the people that never start on eBay are like, I don't know if I'm ready to get into eBay yet, because they don't understand the shipping. It's a big deal. So I bring up your cross-posting experience. Have you ever sold something on a platform that sold twice on a platform where you had to cancel an order? Have you experienced that yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't been on either Poshmark or Mercari for very long. Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
But I do have a cross-listing software too that as soon as something sells, and it's not as scary on Mercari or Poshmark to sell something that sells. But if something sells on Poshmark or Mercari that I have listed on eBay, delist on eBay immediately. Well, I do it on all of them.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes you can forget. And actually, I sold a couple things today that I need to but I sold them on eBay. So,
whoops.
Oops.
I think we lost Marcy.
You're about to lose me too, because my battery on my phone is going.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Really?
What is wrong?
Oh my gosh. Marcy, if you want to join me, we're all
going to go into Laurie's office. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. You might as well come in here because we can. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, that's okay. Pull up a chair. Are you gonna come in, Dave?
Bye. I don't. You'll see when I phone.
He says his battery's about to die. Oh my gosh.
You're good.
Just dropped off.
Oh, that was weird.
Also, I was just talking to a blank.
Oh, so hold on.
You look wonderful.
I'm gonna switch out the.
You're fine. I could hear you all.
Yeah, I know. But she can't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
Hold
So
on.
we
You keep talking, Dave.
yeah, I know, I'm trying to.
Hold on.
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, there
So
we go. We're gonna
we
erase this.
there, oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. I'm trying to talk, but then you're talking over me.
Sorry.
Okay. So we sell crazy amounts of electronics, and I hear feedback. Um, but we have such a hassle setting up our lives. I don't know why. What's the deal?
Yes, Angie is correct. Technical difficulties. I don't know what the problem is. You're not even in the picture very well.
Party in Laurie's office. That's
Oh dear. My gosh.
that's all right. I'm good with being blurry in the background.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, I was wanted to mention here, Angie said, oh, which I missed the other one. She said she dropped a Christmas light last week. I guess that was while shipping. Now you gotta turn that off because now there's a real echo. Oh my
So
gosh.
leaves.
Just leave. Here, you want to get on my phone? My phone probably has a better battery than yours does.
How we doing?
What are you doing?
Okay.
Gosh.
You guys finish up. I'll be in the kitchen.
What are you?
My battery died.
Well, no, it's still on.
Okay. Anyway,
Still on his phone.
clearly, Angie says she dropped the light. But where? Oh, I'm getting like completely lost here. She broke it, but the customer was really nice. And then and then I guess Patrick said that happened similarly about 15 years ago. It was in a oh my gosh. I mean, these are the crazy things that happen as resellers, right? I mean, gosh, oh my word. And doing lives, then the technical stuff comes in. It's crazy. Is this a skit? No, this is not a skit. This is the real deal. This is live. But you have to, okay. I have to give a little.
This if we try.
No, not at all. But I have to give a little bit of background. Oh, Dave's back now. Let's see what he's doing. Where is he? Marcy and I were friends before she came to work with us. So we have a little bit of a very unique working relationship. So, and it's actually, I think, worked out okay, hopefully. Yeah. Even though our friends will always joke, oh, your bosses are blah, 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 you know.
Or jokes getting someone old. Will go, yeah, hey, can you come to lunch with me? And I'm like, and you know, Laurie will be there. I'm like, I don't know, my boss is a slave driver.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask my boss if I can get away.
Right. Yes. If we had a blooper reel, this would definitely be on it. Now, where is Dave? Oh, now Dave's in Marcy's desk.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
It's great here.
Did you plug in your phone?
Yes.
Oh.
You guys are doing a great job.
Did you get your selfie stick? Did you put yourself in the selfie stick?
No,
that would have been a good idea.
Good idea.
Next time. Oh
keep
my
on
gosh.
Keep on going.
Let's get back to what is the topic anyway? What are we talking about here? We were talking about reselling, and we're talking about Marcy. We were talking about an e-bliss. Oh my gosh. Okay, how much more time do? Oh gosh, we still have.
Gosh. All right.
Yeah, right. Please throw out questions. I mean, whatever you want to know, whatever you want to talk about, we will try to enlighten you. Where are you going? Dave, you're making us nauseous.
No, I was going to go into the warehouse. I was going to do like a play-by-play.
Play-by-play of what?
Of
the people
like
hitting balls next door? I mean, can everybody hear that? I apologize. Ay.
So, Marcy, this is Marcy's playground. This is Marcy's. Do you know? I know Marcy. You know what Marcy's playground is, but Laurie, I don't know if you know what Marcy's playground. It's a you're all into classical music. Marcy's playground was a late '90s kind of like alternative group, but this is Marcy's playground. This is this is her picking area. This right here is you guys could talk about it. I'm just gonna.
Okay. I forgot. I think I can move this around. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, now we can see what he's looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's our shipping area.
Mm-hmm.
We have this set up where two people can ship at the same time using. Go to the right, Dave. You're right. a little bit slowly. Yeah, those are all of our shipping supplies that we have set up in between the two shipping areas. Everything's marked. Everything's, it's very easy to pull stuff off. You know exactly where everything is. And somebody who's working on the other side can also do the same. So it's all duplicated, but not really. It's just right there. So, yeah, so we have, and then on where Dave is standing, there are 2 black tables. That's what we put, that's where we work off of. And I mean, it's set up pretty nicely, I think. It used to be a disaster.
It works well.
But it actually works really well. Yeah, you can see there, like it's
the bubble wrap, the tape, boxes.
And essentially those are those shelves, the same shelves that we use to store all of our inventory in, except we designed them specifically for exact heights of what was going to be in there, whether bubble mailers or poly mailers or whatever. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. What the heck happened? Where did we go?
What?
We just lost you on my screen, but I didn't touch anything.
I'm here.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
It just dropped off completely.
Ay. So any rate, there's the zebra printer. That's one of the 2.
Well, how does it sound, Dave? Is that you or the zebra printer?
Don't waste
all the labels.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm gonna walk up and down the aisles.
You just wasted $10 worth of labels.
Yeah.
Right there.
But they'll get to. We'll have good use for them. There's always a reason to use them. So yeah. So that's.
Kick me on it and put it on.
Okay. Oh, all right. So there you go. We didn't anticipate giving you a tour of our warehouse tonight, but there it is. And Angie says no one could write a story this good. Thanks, Angie. Oh yeah, so there was what you're talking about. That's our bin. The bin has a number. Everything in there has a sticker that has a number. And so that's 9 times out of 10, very easy to find.
Yep, that's client 10, bin number 9, and then you find the item with the sticker.
Yep. And then what happens what happens when you go to find something and it's not there?
I thought you were gonna say what happens in the warehouse stays in the warehouse.
That would have been good too.
When something's not there, then we go and look at the receiving sheet to see what other bins we put items in that day.
True.
Or to see if the item has sold previously.
Right. That's my first thing, to see, hey, did this thing sell already? Because that's why we can't find it. And I'm 9.5 times out of 10. That's the reason. The one time we couldn't find something that wasn't sold is because Dave took it out of the bin and left it for a local pickup person and didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Which is not our process.
That was for a special eBliss client that I knew very well, who said, hey, can you just pull this out? The guy's coming in 2 hours. And I'm like, no problem. And I forgot to tell you. I understand.
Right. Yeah. But we don't do that anymore.
So we took 2 hours looking for the item.
Something like that. I honestly thought we were losing our minds. Yeah.
But it all worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So for example, did you want to talk about Poshmark sellers who pre-wrap items?
Sure. Our policy is that however you send in the item, that's how we're going to ship it. So if you like to wrap your stuff with pink tissue paper and put in a little thank you note or whatever, but that's no problem. By all means, that's how we're going to ship it. It doesn't help really when receiving because we can't make sure that it's the right thing. And it doesn't really help with picking because you can't tell what's what, but.
Right. And we can't
confirm.
Unwrap everything.
No.
And wrap it back up again.
Not at all. So, man, he's doing the full tour.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty clean right now. And it's only half full, so you got to get it full. So, getting back to that's really it. Let's see. You see, it's half full. It's half empty. Hey, Dave, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Oh, okay. That's next door. So I thought you were talking and we couldn't hear you.
No, I'm just pointing. You guys talk.
The mezzanine? You show them the mezzanine. What does that look like?
There's a bunch of boxes up there.
We have this upstairs space in the warehouse. It's called a mezzanine. It used to be a gym at one time, and I guess they had couches up there and stuff. We have some personal stuff up there, but mostly we keep our extra boxes. So now there's an aerial view of it, which is neat.
Don't fall, Dave.
So that's a pretty cool view. Yeah, don't fall and don't drop your phone.
I actually almost tripped over a box.
Oh my gosh.
No.
That would have been bad.
Railings here.
S wants to know if he has executive washrooms. Not up there.
Oh, S? Yeah.
Yes. No.
If he becomes a client, we would probably install one if he wants to visit from Jersey.
Oh,
So,
dear.
honestly, I just want to share this. I know this is going to be bright, but these LED lights right here are amazing. We had them installed. Laura, you want to tell the story about all the warehouses we went to that were just dingy?
Oh yeah. I mean, we looked at a lot of places that the lighting was so poor. For us, you have to see what you're picking correctly. Otherwise you could pick the wrong thing. I don't want to make you have to wear a headlamp or something while you're picking, but the lighting makes lighting makes a big difference in a warehouse. I don't know if you can see it. It probably is dark, but there's a skylight in there.
Yes.
Do we have two of them or just one? I forget.
One.
There's two. Oh. Marcy says there's two. Because we didn't have one. We don't have one in four. So I didn't know if there was one in both of them. So that doesn't bring in a lot of light. Those LED lights do make the biggest difference. So
I'm going to call it the spelunking list from now on instead of the listing, the pick list.
That's a lot of syllables.
So, Laura, do you have an idea how many tubs we have? I mean,
I can do the math, but I don't know off the top of my head.
All right. Anyway, we have each one of our rows holds 45 tubs, and we have.
And some of those are triple rows.
Right. So we have a lot.
So anyway, back to I think somebody said we were. Where were we? We were talking about delisting. I think that's the last reselling thing we were talking about, but
Marcy delisting items.
Yeah. So don't fall down the stairs, Dave.
Because he had asked me what I do if I had sold something.
Yeah.
Where I had previously sold on eBay or
that's
Poshmark or Mercari, and I'm like,
yeah,
I delist right away as soon as I can.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Especially if it sells on Mercari or Poshmark, I know that it's urgent that I delist it on eBay.
Right.
Because that's where I would get the biggest ding.
Of course. That's where it's the most impactful.
Right.
Yeah. So now what do you got, Dave?
These are the shelving units that we purchase. These are $140. This is a 6 shelving unit, whatever, doodad. Those are the dimensions. That's by centimeters. I can't do the conversion. So what we do is we take 2 of these, 1, 2, and we daisy chain them. I made a post about this. We daisy chain them so they become something like this. You see?
And you can take all the credit for that idea because you did that before I came along.
Thanks. I thought I invented reselling too, by the way.
You're so smart.
Yeah. I thought that was my last creative venture, making those daisy chains.
It's not set up how it normally is.
Oh, right. Well, that's Marcy's desk, but she had it set up for the live, so it's not exactly like it normally is, but it's always very neat and very tidy and very orderly, which I like. But that's just who you are, so that's good. So that's the 9-cent tour or whatever, 10-cent tour, 2-cent. I don't know how many cents. Anyway, we lost Dave, but we can still hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you, Dave.
Nickel tour, thank you. I couldn't remember how many cents it was supposed to be. So anyway, we've got a few more minutes. And is there anything else you wanted to share with us before we have to end our time here?
I don't think so. I just I enjoy working here.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are good peeps.
Oh, thanks.
Laurie and Dave are good people.
And
Eveless is a great place to work.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm glad you're happy here. It's worked out really well. I think so.
I think so too.
And so, I don't know if any of our clients are watching, But if you are, this is Marcy, your account manager. And so maybe they'll watch later. That's a very possibility. Afterwards. So let's see. I don't know if Dave's going to be joining us. I don't know if he went to the executive washroom. Actually, he probably would, because he's like he might as well
There he
consider
is.
it, because he's the only one who uses it, because most of us are gals here. There
There he
you
is.
are.
Can't make this stuff up.
Mm-mm. No, do you want a chair? But
No, we're good.
Yeah, we are gonna. We could. I mean, nobody says. I mean, we could end early if you wanted to, but or we can stay, or we can talk for 5 more minutes.
I think the
Okay.
party's just getting started.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the plunking or what did you call it? What do you call it?
Spelunking.
Plinking is stopped next door.
No, spelunking, because you said you didn't want me to wear a lighted hat. Spelunking is where you like go through caves, explore caves. That's called spelunking.
Okay.
So
Must be a
we call
90s
it the
thing.
Spelunking.
Must be a 90s thing. I'm joking. I mean, I don't know about it. I don't know any.
It's a North Dakota thing.
Oh,
because
is
there's a
what
lot of caves there.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I know any
kidding. There's no caves there. It's
pop culture from the 90s, or music from the 90s. Yeah, but we won't get into that. So, at any rate, I know, right? You can't. It's hard to.
Glasses.
I know. You can still see now, can't you?
Kind of.
Kind of. Well, you don't need to see anything, do you?
No.
So, thanks, Patrick. What do you? Oh gosh, could you imagine? Well, Dave always said they should make a Netflix show out of the bin. So you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
It'll have it all.
I think we could do our own Netflix show.
This actually looks very funny, because I look huge, you look medium, and Dave looks tiny. We are definitely not equal at all.
So much. We'll never be influencers on YouTube.
Oh gosh,
That's a good thing.
No, nobody wants to watch this for an hour. Gosh, seems
You never know.
It seems so unprofessional.
This is going to go viral.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I doubt it.
But back to Marcy.
It probably already is, and
one
we don't
last
even
time.
know it.
It is nice to have Marcy here, because she is almost like the voice of reason when Laurie and I are like, I don't know what to do here. And she comes in, oh, this will work well like this. So it always is good to get opinions from people. And as resellers, we do it all ourselves. So, you could convince yourself you're doing great. So it's important to lean on other resellers. So that's enough of my preaching.
I think it's great because we always kind of bounce ideas off of something, or one of us will come up with something and go, oh, I didn't think about that, or no, we can't do that because of this and this and this. Oh, okay,
Right.
Yeah.
Bin pick show. Yeah, he'd have to put in a hazmat suit. Nobody wears a hazmat suit there, even though I wore eye protection before.
I was at the yeah, you did. I was at the flea market yesterday, and I know there was a game show like this, but I want to do a game show where you give people $500, and whoever finds the most valuable things, as a whole, wins like $500 or something like that. So Patrick, fly out to Denver. We could do it.
There's
well,
a
picks
flea,
the biggest profit.
Yeah.
but it has to be at the bins.
Flea market.
But they already have flea market flip.
Yeah, I know.
But that's flea
true.
market flip is where
You have to make something.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's an awesome show.
We could call it just flea market treasure hunt game show or something, where you have an hour and you have to report back in an hour and tally up your eBay value stuff. So,
But
Good idea. Could do that for a Denver meetup.
all
So
right.
actually, another Patrick gave us that idea at the last
Oh,
meetup.
yeah.
He
Right.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I saw something on it was on a reseller group where they had gone to a Goodwill or something like that, and each person spent they pulled out a name and they had to spend $10 on another person's outfit, the person that they made, and then that person had to wear that outfit, and they all went out to lunch.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Yeah. It's some of the
So they were
outfits just
outfitting people.
ridiculous.
Outfitting people from the bins.
No.
Oh.
Well, no, from like Goodwill or something like that.
Oh, from a thrift store.
Right.
Could you imagine though if it was like no?
No,
I'd
a lot
have
of
to-
people were just like,
Yeah.
I would have to wash.
Oh
it
yeah,
first."
right. Definitely from the bins.
But
What's wrong with not washing stuff you get?
oh
in the
my
bin?
gosh! Don't even get me started,
Come on.
Patrick.
But I
said-
think that's so funny because some of the outfits were just ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was so
But were they
funny.
trying to make them ridiculous?
Well, yeah, that's the point of it.
Oh yeah, he would love to be part of a game show. We could do that. We could
Oh,
do that
yeah.
on. We should do that.
Okay.
Okay, we're doing that.
And if Patrick wants to help out, I mean, he's got the voice for it too.
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah, but we could do this, but we don't have the technical. No,
No, yeah, we
Do you know how hard it was to pull up and look
Yeah.
at?
We just sell the technical equipment.
Oh, yeah, right.
Works like a champ.
All right. Well, we are
Excellent
we
working
are at a
condition.
minute, an hour. Thank you so much for hanging in there with
Marcy,
us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
Thanks for
here.
having me. I'd love
Yes.
to come back again
Okay.
sometime.
Sounds good.
We
Next
will.
week.
Yeah.
Next time I'll have questions for you guys.
Oh, ooh, okay. That's a
Are you
good
up for the
idea.
challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that another time. I don't know about next week. I don't know what we're doing next week.
I'll come up with like
Falling off
eBay
sick.
trivia questions.
eBay
It'll be like,
trivia. Hmm.
and you guys can compete against each other.
Well, we could do a game show and the viewers could, participate and have answers and stuff. That we could do. I don't know about people actually being on the video. So,
All right.
well, all right. Sorry.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you for everybody
Thumbs
to
up.
join
Appreciate
us.
it.
We'll see you next time.